Oh, it's you.
You're right on time.
I've got the file.
Follow me. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today today we are going to get into the video, but first I did want to say something new that I want to try is to display my artwork right here behind me. This is something that I did. I'm going to start doing this in my videos now, so if you guys see something that you want to purchase, you can always, hit me up in the comments, or you can follow me on Instagram at marleys_love. Don't ask, okay? But that's my Instagram name. You can inbox me, ask me questions about astrology. I do readings. Currently, I just do like birth chart, simple synastry, and transit charts as well. So hit me up, if you want to know. Today's aesthetic has absolutely nothing to do with the video. I don't know, honestly. But I got my tea and I have a candle lit here, and we are going to get into it. So I know y'all are wondering what is in this file here, right? Let's see. It's just my janky notes. So okay, it's just my janky little notes, right? And these notes pertain to the video. So today we are going to talk about common placements amongst serial killers, okay? So for the month of October, of course, October is into all the gory and things like that, but really what October symbolizes is the period when we're circulating through the 8th house area. 8th house is dealing with the occult, mysticism, sex, death, rebirth, things of that nature. And so, of course, this is fitting for the energies of, October and Halloween. So, we're just going to get right into it. So, disclaimer, because I always have to add one of these, it seems like, to all my videos. Just because you have some of these placements does not mean like, oh my god, I'm a serial killer. No. In astrology, of course, we do incorporate free will. Free will means that you, as a person, choose to do the things that happen in your life, okay? You may not always have control over the circumstances under which you're in, but you ultimately make the decisions in your life. So the only way that you would be a serial killer is if you chose to be a serial killer. So these placements do heighten certain energies, but it does not necessarily mean like you're doomed to be a serial killer. So now that we got that out the way, let's get right into it. So these are some of the common placements that I've seen when looking at a person's chart, because it's very complex. So I'm kind of like, I don't want to say dumbing it down, but yeah, I am kind of dumbing it down to just simplify it to where, we can all understand it. And so first thing that I notice is water house placements. That's the 4th, 8th, and 12th house. These deal with feelings, emotions, things of that nature. Mutable signs, whether it's their sun, moon, ascendant, whether they have a stellium, whatever. I've noticed that mutable signs tend to play a role in being serial killers. Like if you look at a list, most of them, even just based off sun sign, are mutable signs. So Jupiter in the 3rd house. Jupiter in the 3rd house makes for an intelligent individual. This is a person who is very curious lots of times, especially dealing with their environment and the way that they think, the way that other people think, A moon conjunct or near the descendant line, or also moon and Saturn energy, like when 4th house and 10th house energies come together, seems like this can cause like harsh or rigid feelings, Moon conjuncting or near the descendant line is a person who their feelings lie on the shadow side of their chart. So this is almost like a hidden element. It's almost like something that you don't associate with, but it's who you actually kind of play out to be in a way when we talk about like the descendant line or the descendant side of the chart. Mercury, Venus with harsh aspects to Mars. So, of course, Venus is the planet of love, appreciation, Mercury being our thoughts and communication, with harsh aspects to Mars. Mars is willpower, intent, motivation, but it's also associated with anger and aggression and, you know, violence, things of that nature. Saturn in the 1st or the 12th house. Pluto placements, various Pluto placements, we'll get into that, but Pluto plays a big role. Obviously, Pluto rules the 8th house, so. Chiron in harsh aspects to different planets play a role as well. Chiron is the wounded healer. Pluto in Leo generation is what I've noticed. Something's up with y'all generation, but maybe that's when things started coming to the forefront because we were getting into media and things like that around that time. But those are a lot of people who were placed into the spotlight of being a serial killer. So I definitely think that has something to do with just, you know, us coming into technology and stuff around that time. But Leo with 8th house energy, when Leo and 8th house energies mix, it kind of gives like a selfish sort of energy. It's almost like, you know, pay attention to my expressions, or underlying expressions, you know, expressions dealing with the occultic energy, with 8th house energies, or just like I said, that selfish energy, like, you know, pay attention to what the hell I got going on type stuff. So 4th house stelliums. 4th house is dealing with the home, family life. Lots of serial killers, a lot of times they've had like harsh childhoods, and so when you check their charts, they have lots of things going on in their 4th house or 4th house placements. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a stellium, but maybe just, you know, certain 4th house placements. Also, stelliums in general tend to play a role in a person, you know, having lots of energy in one area of their chart, you know, with aspects and things of that nature that can cause like a very volatile individual, depending on, you know, what the placements are. And so now we're going to look personally into a few charts, and I'm actually going to put them up on the screen somewhere on, you know, either side of me, just so that we can see together. First person we're going to talk about is Ted Bundy. So Ted Bundy, as we know, was a pretty average individual, it seemed to people. He was actually kind of handsome as well. He wasn't so off-put, you know, like lots of people just, they really liked him. He was a Sagittarius stellium, actually. I do believe his sun moon was in Sagittarius. So, you know, Sagittarius qualities, very likable. So also he had Jupiter in his 3rd house along with Chiron. Again, like we said, Jupiter makes for a very smart individual. So he was very intelligent. He knew how to win other people over in using, you know, his Sag energy in that way. Saturn and Pluto was also in his 12th house, which was also in Leo. He was a Pluto and Leo generation person. And again, Saturn being in that 12th house, the 12th house tends to hide things. So I'm feeling like with Saturn and Pluto, there was some hidden motive. There was some hidden agenda almost, or hidden obsession, you know, with certain things. So mutable sign, again, like I said before, he had the stellium in Sagittarius, and it was in his 4th house. So lots of activity going on in his 4th house. However, it wasn't in a negative manner. That's what's crazy about Ted Bundy. He did not have a negative childhood. He was like a non-suspectable person to have done something like this, is what a lot of people were saying. So the next individual is John Wayne Gacy, or Gacy. He was also a mutable sign. He was a sun, moon, and ascendant in mutable sign. Sun and moon in Pisces, if I'm not mistaken, and then a Sagittarius ascendant. And those are Janae Aiko's placements, by the way. But his story, if I'm not mistaken, he was like the clown killer. He murdered a lot of children and young boys, and he put on this persona as like a clown, which is such Pisces kind of energy, you know, playing up this like fantasy type of thing. So that's kind of what, you know, the whole thing was centered around, I'm guessing, was like playing into his dreams and his imaginations and, you know, things that he had come up with. He was also a Pluto and Chiron in Leo as well. Something's up with that generation. Venus was opposing his Chiron as well. Venus opposed Chiron. Again, Venus is our love, appreciation, and value. Chiron being the planet of the wounded healer. So this opposition, caused for some sort of friction when it comes to having an appreciation for other people. He probably, had lots of wounds, had lots of harsh things happen between him and other people that he shared love with. So, it could cause you to not know how to show love exactly, in a manner that other people are able to receive. So, Mars in the 7th house, this calls for violence within relationships. And obviously, he had some violent relationships with other people. So Pluto and Chiron sitting in his 8th house. There goes those 8th house placements. Again, Pluto being the planet of transformation and ruling the 8th house. It gives you a person with a fascination for the occult, mysticism, things like that. Healing coming through some sort of 8th house energy. And so maybe in a sense he felt like he was healing by harming these other people. Lots of times people with Chiron in the 8th house see something in other people that they don't like within themselves, and they're trying to kill it, and then the last individual is Jeffrey Dahmer, which is he's like super popular, which that's like can be, I don't know why. Anyway, but Jeffrey Dahmer was a guy, he killed his other lovers. He was actually a homosexual, and I don't think that he liked this aspect of himself, and that was probably, and also, these other, placements, but that was probably motive for why he began to harm other people and his lovers, essentially. But Jeffrey Dahmer has Pluto opposing Chiron. Again, Pluto and Chiron aspects, especially harsh aspects, this makes for a person transforming in a harmful manner, but thinking that they're healing in some sort of way by using occultic natures, Jupiter in the 3rd house, he was a smart individual. However, when I was listening to his childhood, I don't remember if that reflected to everyone else. I don't think that he was a child that was, that was deemed as very intelligent. So, but he was very intelligent because his father taught him things, and he obviously, held on to it because he used it within his murders, if you guys look into it. But he had his Saturn squaring his moon, and his moon was sitting on the descendant line. So again, when Saturn and the moon, or 4th house and 10th house energies come together, this is a person who has harsh or rigid feelings. They have a hard time associating with other people lots of times, or feeling connected to other individuals. And also the moon on the descendant line, so disassociation from the feelings. So he really, he really struggled with connecting with other people, is what I feel like. And then 4th house in Capricorn, again, Cap and Cancer energies mixing together. Capricorn is a harsh kind of energy ruled by Saturn. So usually when you have Capricorn in your 4th house, you deal with a hard childhood, sometimes a childhood that you have to spend time recovering, and getting over. Sun, Mercury, Venus in the 8th house. This little joining puts a lot of focus on the occultic. So Mercury, again, being the planet of thought and communication. The sun there, so shining light on this energy, and also Venus, giving an appreciation for it. So he was a person who was very much into the occultic nature. It's what he chose to pay attention to within that realm that, essentially led to that. So, and also he was a person with mutable signs as well. His sun, moon, and ascendant were in mutable signs. Yes, guys, that is my video. Tell me what you think about it in the comments below. You guys can comment future videos that you want to see from me, astrology related or spirituality related, whatever, just let me know. And I will see you guys in my next video.